Don't give up, you know it's true. Gotta do what you wanna do.
Hello, welcome to UPSC Gangsters. I'll be taking you through the 19th of September's Hindu's business page. So I'll take you through the important topics in the business news in the Hindu newspaper. So let's start with it. The first heading, alright, the first thing in business line is Ford Mahindra back on table to expand reach. So you would have known that Ford and Mahindra had a joint venture earlier in 1995. Alright, so they started off a joint venture and it didn't go that well. And Mahindra sort of expanded the shares in, Ford sort of expanded the share in the company and they took over the total company. And Mahindra later came out with a joint venture with Renault. Alright, so that was how the company, got dismantled finally. But now they're coming inside again. So Ford, the kind of presence they have in India compared to Mahindra. So right now, Mahindra might be having the upper hand in dealing this joint venture. Alright, so let's get to the news. Ford is committed to India and this alliance can help us deliver the best vehicles and services to customers while profitably growing in the world's 5th largest vehicle market. The release quoted Jim Falley, Executive Vice President and President of Global Markets, as saying. Alright, so the fact from this line, this thing is Ford is the 5th largest vehicle market, which is India. So India is the 5th largest vehicle market, alright, of the world. So that is a fact you can derive from this. Next point, Ford has invested more than $2 billion in the Indian market. It was among the first global automakers to enter the country in 1995. It manufactures and exports vehicles and engines from its manufacturing facilities near Chennai, Tamil Nadu and Sanand in Gujarat. It has more than 14,000 people working across Ford India or global business services operations in New Delhi, Chennai and Coimbatore. So the fact from this point would be that Ford commands a workforce, an Indian workforce of around 14,000 people, alright, either employed directly or indirectly in its business services or its operations directly, alright, and its facilities are primarily located in Chennai, Tamil Nadu and Sanand in Gujarat. This is another fact, alright. These two places are already known for manufacturing and has been a manufacturing hub for many commodities and automobile firms, alright. So these are the facts from this. So this is it about the first business topic. Let's go to the next topic. So next topic is, the heading says coal stocks down in 2 more plants. The subheading says the total number of units in supercritical category is now at 12. Alright, so this is the heading for it. Let's get down to what has been said. Coal stocks at 2 more power plants slipped into the supercritical category between last Friday and Monday, taking the total number of plants with less than 4 days worth of coal supplies up to a dozen as per official data. Alright, so what do you mean by supercritical stage of a coal power station when it comes to the coal supply? Alright, this has nothing to do with the supercritical or critical stage of a boiler or the reactor that is there. Alright, this is something to do with the coal supply. So critical means that there is certain amount of coal that is left which will be useful for the plant and they can operate for certain number of days. Alright, so supercritical means the plant will be able to operate only for 4 days, alright, with the amount of coal that is being left with them. Alright, so that is what is meant by supercritical. So supercritical means only 4 days left. Alright, so that is the kind of scenario that the coal plants are facing, and the number of coal plants that are facing right now are more than a dozen right now. Alright, that is what they're saying. So the next point, the number of power plants as on September 16, 2017 in critical and supercritical category was 4 and 12 respectively. So supercritical category 12 coal power plants have reached, and 4 coal power plants have reached the critical category, meaning there has been there are coal stock with them that would last them for probably a week. Alright, super critical means again it will last only for 4 days. Alright, so according to a statement from the Ministry of Coal on Monday. Alright, this was a statement that was given by the Ministry of Coal. Okay, this number stood at 4 and 10 as of September 13, according to data released last Friday. So a few days back the data said that there were 10 supercritical coal plants, alright, when it comes to the coal supply. But right now 2 more have been added to the list. Alright, next subheading under the same news piece, no coal shortage. Alright, so under that, to the best of my knowledge, there is no shortage in coal. Amrit Pandurangi, Senior Director Infrastructure at Deloitte India, told the Hindu. Alright, so he is saying that he's making a stand that there is no shortage in coal, and there is some other reason behind it. It could be a financing issue. Power plants need to earn their money from the distribution companies, who are not in a position to pay on time. In turn, this delays payments by the power companies to Coal India, and so Coal India might be concerned about this, since it could end up in a situation where it is financing the power companies. So basically what they're saying is the power companies, alright, the distribution companies are those companies that distribute electricity from the main plants. Alright, so for example you have the Reliance the Power Corporation, and you have the Tata Power Corporation. Those people are distribution companies, alright, like the ones you see in Mumbai, Kolkata or Delhi. These are private companies that take electricity from the power plants and distribute it. So he's saying it might be because those distribution companies have not made their payments to the power plants. Alright, so the power plants need money to purchase coal, right? So therefore the power plants are left with less money because of payment delays from the distribution companies, and therefore they are not able to purchase coal on time. Alright, so that is what is making the delay in getting coal to the power plants, and that is why the power plants are slipping into the super critical and critical categories. Alright, and next point, the only other reason could be a logistics problem due to the monsoon and trains not running on time or not at all. Alright, so the next reason he's giving is because of logistics problem. Logistics problem means the problem that arises out of distribution, in the sense transportation and all that. Logistics generally means transportation and distribution. So he's saying there might be a problem because of the transportation part. Okay, so and because there has been a lot of torrential rain all over India, almost all part of India had heavy rainfall this time. So because of that there might be some delays in logistics. Alright, meaning the railways and lorries or whatever, they are not reaching on time, or they're not able to take off on time or whatever. Alright, so that might be a problem, he's saying. A total of 213.5 railway rakes of coal were dispatched to different consumers, out of which 196 railway rakes were dispatched to power sector alone. Alright, so at this point 213.5 were dispatched totally, and from this 213.5, 196 have been dispatched for power sector alone. So this is the data as per September 16, 2017. Alright, this is lower than the total dispatch of 225.9 railway rakes of coal on September 13, of which 212.9 railway rakes were dispatched to the power sector. So there is a difference between the September 13th and September 16th data. Alright, so back then in September 13th there has been some 20 plus railway rakes that were filled with coal and were sent to the power stations. As per the data of September 16th, 2017, there has been 20 odd less, alright, railway rakes carrying coal to the power stations. Alright, so that is an indicator that there will be some sort of shortfall than the usual. Alright, so next point, according to the companies I have spoken to, the major problem seems to be that there are not enough railway rakes being deployed. So an expert commentator said on the condition of anonymity. So based on anonymity, those sensitive things he can say. So probably this is something that is not discussed outside. So he's saying, according to the companies I have spoken to, the major problem seems to be that there are not enough railway rakes being deployed. So it has something to do with the railways, he's saying. So he's blaming the railways that there has to be some sort of. So according to this, it seems that the railways have not been keeping up with the demand of the power stations. Alright, so next point, why this is happening is not clear, because the railways runs every year during the monsoon, and anyway the flooding is not happening in the areas that would affect the supply. So the anonymous source here, he's saying that anyway, alright, even during flooding, railways has maintained some sort of quota every year. Alright, and this year the flooding has happened in those places where coal supplies will not get affected, meaning the coal supplying areas, the coal mines are far away from those places that are being flooded or affected by heavy rainfall. So he has no idea why this sort of shortfall is happening. Alright, so he is indirectly saying that the railway authorities are to be blamed in this. Alright, so next point under this, on September 16, 2017, the total coal dispatched of Coal India Limited was 1.49 million tons. The release added, the total coal dispatched on September 16, 2017 to the power sector was about 1.16 million tons. Alright, so there is a 0.32 difference. Alright, 0.32 million tons difference in the coal that has been dispatched to the power sector. Alright, between the total coal dispatched from Coal India to the coal that has been dispatched to the power sector. Alright, so these are the things that come under this news piece. So let's go on to the next heading, to the next topic. Digital payments may gain traction, says Mr. Arun Jaitley. Apps like Google Pay is likely to become a matter of convenience. This is the subheading. So let's get on to the point. So the first point under this, the center expects digital payments to gain traction again on its initiatives. Platforms such as Unified Payments Interface and evolution of technology, according to Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. So they are saying the digital payments method, they're gonna gain traction in the coming years. Alright, it has already gained some traction, the digital payment methods like digital wallets, online wallets and online payments, they have gained traction over the years. This is something that happens in any country, alright, with development. But here in India, we have a distinct feature of online wallets and all that, alright. Even economies like USA does not have many companies that are banking on online wallets like Paytm and Freecharge and MobiKwik and all that. There are not many companies like that in US. Probably there is just PayPal, alright, and PayPal is kind of little bit different from Paytm and other apps that are related to online payments. Alright, so probably that is the only app that is there. But here it is kind of different. India has come up with this new initiative of online wallets and all. Alright, so that is what Mr. Arun Jaitley is saying will expand in the coming future. So next point, the minister's comments come against the backdrop of marginal decline in digital transactions which had peaked in the aftermath of demonetization. Alright, so he has made these comments saying that it is gonna pick up very soon because it was not going that well right now. Alright, and there was a huge peak. I mean, there was a there was a spike during the demonetization period because a lot of people were resorting to the online transactions. So compared to that, it is obviously less, but he's saying we'll still pick up to that phase even without demonetization, because the online wallet digital payments industry is kind of expanding, he's saying. So next, he's saying business digital payments may gain traction. Alright, so that is supposed to be what Mr. Arun Jaitley is saying. So digital payments may gain traction. So that was the main heading, right? So the next one under this, I will take you through the next point under this. Obviously, in the month of November, December and January, a lot of people went in for digitization in terms of mode of payment, more out of compulsion rather than finding it a more convenient method to transact. But that compulsion itself created a habit for many. The minister said at an event to unveil Google's digital payment platform for India, TACE. So, under this, what he's saying is during demonetization period, people were forced to use other alternative methods of payment like the digital wallets and all that. But soon that became kind of a habit for those people. They got used to digital payments. They got used to the ease of making digital payments and online payments, and therefore he's saying that out of habit, people are gonna use it in future even more. All right, and he said this during introducing Google's digital platform for India, that is TACE. All right, this will definitely is more likely to come for your prelims and even for your mains and prelims, because this is an app, and the government is very serious about digitizing the economy and usage of online wallets and all that. And Google has developed this for the Indian government. All right, and the app's name is TACE. All right, TEZ. So next point, we reached a peak figure, then it marginally slipped and is now bound to pick up again. So just like the previous point, what he is saying is it peaked during the demonetization period and it will pick up again to that similar period. Alright, the similar numbers. As per RBI data, the number of digital payments transactions in India stood at 671.5 million in November 2016, growing to 957.5 million in December 2016. The process of remonetization, not demonetization, remonetization, triggered a dip in such payments to 870 million in January 2017. So what he's basically saying, after the cash came out, after the banks started issuing the currency during the remonetization phase, obviously there was a dip in online transaction, but anyway it is not a huge dip, as you can see. All right, there was a difference between 671 before demonetization and it jumped to 957.5. so now it has come down to 870, which is kind of decent. All right, and these things were followed with, these things had taken the Android and iOS users into account. Alright, so those are the major platforms that use apps, right? So therefore they have been taken. So next point, TACE meaning fast in Hindi, it's obvious. Alright, so is a payments application from the US technology giant that had been developed for India first. It is powered by UPI, Unified Payments Interface, alright, that which is also used in BIM, BHIM. So whatever I said right now, you have to definitely remember and note it down. Alright, so this is kind of important, so you have to note it down that Google has done something for the Indian government and TACE has been created by Google. Alright, there might be questions of TACE was developed by UPI or TACE was developed by BIM or any other organization, but you know the fact through this that TACE was developed by Google. Alright, so that is a fact, but it was developed for the Indian government. Alright, it is not a private application. Alright, so what about and yes, one thing you have to note is about BHIM. Alright, BHIM. So BHIM is supposed to be the Bharat interface for money. Alright, it is a mobile app based on the unified payment interface only. Alright, so Bharat interface for money is an application that is available both on Android and iOS. So it allows users to make payments, online payments and all that. Alright, that is only Bharat interface for money. Okay, which will bypass the online transaction companies like Visa and MasterCard and all that. So this is a replacement from the Indian perspective, from the Indian government. Alright, that is only BIM. So the next point, the application will be available for both Android and iOS users, allowing them to make payments straight from their bank accounts. Alright, so this is a point. So you can make transactions straight from your bank accounts. This is a product that is made for India. There are areas where India will leapfrog the West, and one such case is payments and commerce, said Caesar Sen Gupta, Google Vice President. Alright, so he has said that we will actually leapfrog. Leapfrog means that we will jump over the West, meaning we'll be going over to the next phase. Alright, a phase that the Western countries have never seen. Just like I told you, these sort of online wallets have not been introduced in even United States yet. So they don't have such concepts there, like Paytm and MobiQuick and all that. So therefore, we are in the forefront of the mobile wallets thingy. Alright, maybe Paytm will expand in USA and all that. That is a market, another market for them to tap. Alright, so let's see how it goes. So he's saying basically in these areas India will leapfrog the West. Alright, so that is the online payments industry. Alright, so under the next one, this news piece is over. So next heading would be, this is a small news piece. So the heading of it is, under the new regulation, TRAI has recommended a new calculation methodology for dropped call rate, which will be measured at the mobile tower level instead of telecom circle. So this is the news under it. The heading for it is, the telecom operators seek more time to meet quality norms. Alright, implementing new methodology will need major changes. So this is what the actual heading is, and under that, under the new regulation, TRAI has recommended a new calculation methodology for drop call rates, which will be measured at the mobile tower level instead of telecom circle. So the dropped call rate, in this sense, the company has to compensate for the dropped calls. Alright, in the sense, those calls that are not matching up to the things that has been prescribed by the company. If they're saying 4G calls should happen. If it switches to 3G and 2G and all that, they will be paying the consumer back. That is what they are supposed to do. Alright, because they're not using the 4G thing anymore. Alright, so that is supposed to be done, and they are saying usually it used to be calculated from the telecom circle. Alright, so if you belong to one particular area, they will measure the number of call drops that has been occurring in that entire area for a particular period of time, and then they will try to give them discounts or whatever. That is the company's action that is done for the call drops. But now they are saying it will be calculated from the towers itself. Alright, so each single tower, how much drop calls are there, according to that the companies will take actions. Alright, so that is the new regulations from TRAI, that is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Okay, so next what we are seeing under this is the view of an insider. Alright, so I'll get to that. We earnestly request to authority to grant our members an additional time of 2 quarters for making the changes. Thus, the regulation be made effective from April 1, 2018 instead of October 1, 2018, the industry body has said. Alright, so 2 quarters meaning 6 months. Alright, so they need 6 months more to adjust accordingly, it seems. Okay, so they want to adjust accordingly, and they have asked for 6 months grace period. Alright, in addition, telecom companies may face a maximum penalty of rupees 10 lakh if they fail to meet the benchmark of 3 consecutive quarters. Alright, so if they are not meeting the benchmark of 3 consecutive quarters, meaning 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 9 months. So if they are not meeting the benchmark of 9 months, the telecompanies may face a maximum penalty of 10 lakhs. Alright, if they are not able to do that. So, they have asked for 6 months anyway. So that's what they're saying, don't penalize us. We will do everything in line, but we need 6 months more. Next, the implementation of the revised measurement methodology will require building of the system and software development, which will require significant time, Mr. Matthews said. So they feel that the software development and the system changes will take 6 months more to develop. Alright, and adjust to the specifications that has been released by the government. Alright, so that is the news in this. So there might be a question about what are the drop calls. Alright, the call drop rate. So what is it related to? Alright, that might be asked. Next news piece under the business page of the Hindu newspaper. So that heading says Andrew Yule's unit to add product kitty. So subheading to it is to make resin cast transformers. So I'll get to the news directly. Andrew Yule and Company Limited, a public sector undertaking under the Department of Heavy Industries. So public sector undertaking is a company that is which has the majority stakes under the government. Alright, so the government actually owns the majority stakes of the company, meaning more than 50%, which is belonging to the government. The share belongs to the government. So Andrew Yule and Company Limited, a public sector undertaking under the Department of Heavy Industries, is planning to make new equipment at its electrical unit in Chennai, which is generating good orders, Chairman and Managing Director Debashish Jana said. Alright, it seems that the things are going well and they're getting a lot of orders from the Chennai plant. Addressing the media here on Monday, he said that a memorandum of understanding had been signed for manufacturing resin cast transformers and 220 kilovolt transformer to add to the product range of the unit and aid AYL's business growth. So 220 kilovolt transformer is going to be the new product that is going to be launched out of the AYL company. Alright, so he's saying he has got new orders for resin cast transformers. So what is resin cast transformer? It is a different kind of transformer that is of the dry type, alright, which is explained in the next point. I'll tell you that. It was learned that these dry type transformers go over the conventional oil type transformer, as they can be installed anywhere. Like for instance, a mall, you cannot install a conventional transformer, he said. So this is a transformer that can be installed anywhere, any climatic conditions and any terrain and all that. Alright, and it is of the dry type, so the maintenance will not be as costly as maintaining an oil type transformer. So resin type transformer, resin cast transformer is very different to oil type and has a lot of advantages, he's saying. So what can be asked out of this is resin cast transformer, how it can be different from the oil type transformer. Just they will ask you that resin type transformer has oil in it and all that. So simple questions will be asked. You should know the basic difference. So this is the main thing from this news piece of the business business section. So let's go to the next news piece under the business section. So that the heading of it is norms eased for fundraising by REITs and INVITs, INVITs, alright, so INVITs and REITs. So that is the main heading for it. The subheading for it is SEBI allows issue of debt securities. So that is the subheading for it. So let's get to the news. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, has relaxed the guidelines for real estate investment trusts. Real estate investment trusts was only earlier noted as REIT, alright. So, and infrastructure investment trusts, which is INVITs, INVITs. So REITs and INVITs do know the expansion and what they are dealing with, alright. So this will help with your prelims definitely. So REITs and INVITs, alright, that you should remember. So next point under this, the board of SEBI, which met on Monday, decided to allow REITs and INVITs to raise capital by issuing debt securities, which also gives approval for the former to lend to an underlying holding company or a special purpose vehicle. So under this, SEBI, it seems, have given those real estate agencies, real estate investment trusts, alright, to raise capital through debt securities. Debt securities like bonds, alright. So they purchase bonds and they can sell bonds and raise public money for investment, alright. So what is a bond? My sister would have explained it to you. Those are economic terms. So basically, if you need money for a business, you can issue a bond, alright, and somebody, a customer or the general public would buy it, alright. So when they buy it, that money will be invested in your company and you will give them monthly returns in the form of interest, alright, based on the contract. Monthly you will be giving, alright. So that is what the bond would do. So these companies, these agencies can issue those bonds or debt securities even to the underlying companies or special purpose vehicles. So what is a special purpose vehicle? Special purpose vehicle, alright, is basically a sister concern or a subsidiary of a company, alright, but it is different from the company in the sense, if the main company goes bankrupt, alright, the special purpose vehicle company will survive, alright. So that is like a separate entity, alright. So special purpose vehicles company is actually coming under the main company, under the premise, but if the main company has some liability, if it goes bankrupt and all that, the smaller company, which is the special purpose vehicle, will not be affected by it, alright. So the bank people or the people who have loans from this company will not be going and knocking the doorsteps of the knocking the door of the special purpose vehicle company, alright. They are not liable to pay, alright. They are like a separate entity. So here the new regulation says that they can raise money for the special purpose vehicle companies as well, alright. Next point, the regulator also allowed single asset REITs on similar lines and INVITs, the INVITs, while amending the definition of valuer for both REITs and INVITs. So single asset REITs on similar lines as INVITs while amending the definition for valuer. So the ones who are doing raising the money, alright, so they have allowed single asset REITs too, alright. So single form of assets, either in land or gold or whatever, even if they have just a single form of asset, single type of asset, even they are allowed. That is what this line says, okay. Next one, market participants said the relaxation would help these investment products gain traction, as only a few entities have so far managed to raise such funds. On the BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, only 2 INVITs companies are there, alright. India Grid Trust and IRB INVIT Fund are listed. So these are the only two companies that are there in the Bombay Stock Exchange. So therefore, they are expecting the new ease in norms will invite more InvITs companies. Alright? Next point under this, last point under this. Through these proposals, SEBI has reiterated its intent to adopt a consultative approach in refining the regulations to make REITs and InvITs successful platforms in India, said Bhairav Dalal, Partner Real Estate Tax, PwC, Public Works Commission, India. Alright, so he feels that these proposals by SEBI will increase investment and will invite more REITs and InvITs. Alright, so this is what the news piece is about. Let's move to the next news piece. Alright, under the business line. This is again about the Google app, Taze. Alright, so this is a facts about the app, which is very important for the prelims point of view for sure. Alright, so the heading itself suggests what is going to be. The heading suggests, the heading says how Taze works. Alright, so that is the heading of it. So let's directly get down to it. First point, Google forayed into the mobile payment sector in India on Monday with its mobile wallet app Google Taze. Here's what you need to know about Taze. Google Taze is a mobile wallet based on the Unified Payments Interface (UPI) platform built by the National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI). UPI enabled wallets permit users to transfer money without the recipient's bank account details. So this is a major use of the Google Taze. Alright, so it can transfer money, alright, without the recipient's bank account details. So if you choose to transfer the amount from the Taze app to another person, you need to enter his whole bank account details and all that. You can just do it in a very quick fashion. Alright, so that is the point in this you have to note. Next point, the UPI ID of the recipient is used as a proxy for the account number and IFSC code, thereby simplifying the money transfer. So the one who you are related with, whom you are transferring to, you have already approved him. Alright, so there is no need for you to enter the bank account number and IFSC code again and again to transfer money. Alright, so that is how Taze works. It saves you a lot of time and it makes things also easier. Alright, so next point under this, how is it different from digital wallets? So the answer for it they have given: Taze does not require money to be stored in the app to make digital payments. So this is another major important point. So Taze does not require money to be stored in the wallet. Alright, so it's not like Paytm or any other app which needs money to be stored in the wallet from the card or the bank account, because this wallet is directly linked to your bank account. So whatever money that is there in the bank account will be transferred. Alright, so unused money remains in the bank earning interest. Alright, it works as an extension of one's bank account, so unused money remains in the bank earning interest. Each transaction is initiated by the sender entering his UPI PIN with the additional security of existing phone locks. So how it works basically, alright, so it uses the money from your bank account, and whatever money that will be left in your bank account, that will be earning the interest. Nothing will happen to it. Alright, so this is like something that is taken from the bank account, alright, and the needed money will be transferred, and that's it. Alright, so next line, how can you transfer money using Taze? Alright, so that is the next one that is being asked. So each transaction is initiated by the sender entering his UPI PIN with the additional security of existing phone locks. Alright, this is what from the previous point, but I am telling you once again to make you understand how it's been sent, because The next question is about how it is transferring money. Alright, so it uses a unique UPI pin first of all. And then coming to the point, after installing the app on an Android or an iOS device, users have to sync their wallets with their Google account and the mobile number linked to it. Alright, so the users will be like actually kind of syncing their wallets with the Google account. Okay, and what you're doing basically is it will be linking, alright, their wallets with the Google account and the mobile number linked to it, so directly you can transact just like your Paytm or whatever. So the major difference is going to be the money will be taken directly from the account. Alright, no need to like load the wallet and all that. Access to the wallet from the app drawer is protected by a Google pin and by security settings on the device, such as passcodes, fingerprints and pattern locks. So if you have a worry about whether your money will be protected because this is directly linked to your bank account, so there are several steps for authentication. So there is a Google pin, there are security settings in your very own device such as passcodes, fingerprints and pattern locks. So after going through all this, only you'll be able to make a transaction. So it is not easy for someone to hack the account of something, alright, which is virtually impossible as of now. Next point, integration of one's bank account with the wallet is done via SMS and will not be completed if the phone number associated with the account does not match or if the user holds an NRI account which is not supported for this feature. So another thing which can be asked, alright, if you can, from the mains perspective, whether you can use the app, whether the wallet can be used if you have a different phone number which is not the phone number that has been registered with your bank account. So in this case it is not possible, alright. So the mobile should also be there in hand and the SMS will be sent to you in that mobile number. So that mobile number the code will be sent to that mobile number and that code should be entered for you to make a transaction. And the next one, NRIs, alright, they cannot avail this app, alright. So a question might be asked if NRI accounts can be linked with the TAZE app. So the answer is no, NRI accounts cannot be linked. Users without a UPI ID will have to create one and enter a secure UPI pin. So this is obvious because it is based on the unified payments interface. So that would UPI, those people who do not have the UPI ID, they should be actually registering and get a new ID. Only then these things are possible. Alright. Once the user's bank account is linked, money can be transferred using the recipient's UPI ID. Users also have the option of making transfers to bank accounts by entering the account number of the recipient and related IFSC code. So you can also transfer to bank accounts, alright, using the recipient's account number and IFSC code. Not only like a wallet, from the wallet directly to the bank accounts also you can transfer. This feature is obviously already available in Paytm and MobiKwik and Freecharge and all other similar apps. Alright, you can transfer money directly from the wallet to the bank account. So if they ask you whether this feature is there in TAZE app also, yes, this is also there in TAZE app. Okay, so this feature is there with TAZE, like a usual wallet that can transfer money from the wallet to the bank account. Alright, so once the user's bank account is linked, money can be transferred using the recipient's. This is the same point, sorry. So next point, other means of making payments is by using the camera to scan a QR code or entering the phone number of the recipient. So you want to make a payment very fast, then he's also having the same app, so you can scan his QR code. Alright, a QR scanner will be there in every mobile, so you can scan his QR code, or you can take his mobile number and send the money directly. Alright, so which means that the account number that is related to his mobile number, that the money will get credited from you. Alright, this feature again is available in apps like Paytm and MobiKwik. Alright, just entering the number or scanning the QR code, you can send money to their account. Alright, so that feature is also available here in the TASE app. There are a lot of a scope of questions from this TASE app, so please go through it properly. So next point under this, the app automatically identifies contacts who have successfully registered with the TASE database. Just now I told you that. Our fourth alternative is the cash mode that allows quick transfers with nearby TASE users without sharing phone numbers. Cash mode can be used to pay as well as receive money from devices within its range. Alright, so this probably will be based on infrared or Bluetooth or NFC technology. Alright, so two registered users, even without using the mobile numbers, they can transfer money to each other. Alright, this might come in handy where the mobile network is kind of down and you have to make some important payments or urgent payments. Alright, so you can use the technology that is there in mobile for connectivity, and you can use that to transfer the money. Alright, so NFC will be near field communication. That is, we had questions about NFC last year. Okay, so NFC might not be asked again, but the applications might be asked again, and this is definitely one of the things. Alright, though it is not mentioned, NFC is one secure way of transferring stuff from one mobile to another mobile without having a mobile network and all. So that is it about how the TASE runs and the facts about TASE. Alright, so please make a note of it. This is seemingly very important for prelims. This might come. Alright, so let's get on with the next news piece. So the heading of the next news piece under the business line: OVL can run Azeri oil field till 2049. So this is the heading. Let's get on with the news. ONGC Videsh, OVL. Alright, so OVL stands for ONGC Videsh. Videsh meaning foreign. Alright, so obviously this stands for ONGC's overseas operations. Their operations in foreign countries. Alright, so the overseas arm of state-owned oil and natural gas company said a consortium it is part of has entered into an agreement with the Azerbaijan government and state oil company of the Azerbaijan Republic, SOCAR, alright, to extend the duration of the production sharing agreement for a major oil field to December 31st, 2049. So ONGC Videsh has entered into an agreement with the government of Azerbaijan Republic. Okay, it has a state-run oil company known as SOCAR, State Oil Company of the Azerbaijan Republic. So it has entered with to an agreement with the SOCAR, alright, SOCAR. So this Azerbaijan is actually a former Soviet country, and it is very close to the Middle East, alright, the likes of Turkey and all that. So it is the last bit of country, last country that would be serving as a connection between the Middle East and Russia. Alright, so there they have oil fields, and India is having understanding, an agreement with that company there, and they have extended that agreement. Alright, so here the point you have to take is about ONGC Videsh. Alright, so what they do basically and all that. The PSA, next point, the PSA, which is the production sharing agreement, is for the Azeri Chirag deep water portion of Gunashli. Alright, so the PSA is for the Azeri Chirag deep water portion of Gunashli. So this is the place, this is the deep water portion we are talking about, where the oil is being extracted. This is where we're gonna share. Alright, so the next point, the final point, the international co-ventures will pay a bonus of $3.6 billion to the state oil fund of the Republic of Azerbaijan, and SOCAR will, which is the oil company of Azerbaijan, will increase its equity share in ACG PSA from 11.65% to 25%, ONGC Videsh said in a statement. So the international co-ventures will pay a bonus of $3.6 billion to the state oil fund. So international co-ventures of ONGC, the co-ventures of ONGC in other lands and all that, alright, in other countries. they will be paying an extra $3.6 billion to Azerbaijan state-run oil corporation, all right, in a state oil fund, to make this agreement come into force. So here the ACG PSA equity share, all right, will increase. The Azerbaijan's equity share will increase from 11.65% to 25%. So the 11.65% to 25% needs $3.6 billion, as simple as that. So this is about it for the business line news analysis for the date 19th September. Alright, I'll see you with the next editorial or the business news that comes to me. Alright, so see you and take care.